And today, Chicago gets a new mayor. Joining us now, Dr. Nick Kachiroubas, professor and chair of DePaul's DePaul's School of Public Service in Chicago. Thank you for joining us, Doctor.
It's good to be with you, Brad.
And happy Monday morning to you. Oddly, we still don't have a final plan or a really exact picture of how today's exactly how it's going to look. Media is usually kind of really buttoned up on things like this. Under the Lightfoot inauguration, we knew everything that was going to happen. So first of all, how do you see today playing out? And also, you have some interesting historical notes on today.
Yeah, well, first of all, I think today will be a very celebratory event, like most inaugurations, and as well as it should be. A couple of historical points that would be interesting to think about. This is very reminiscent of the election or inauguration of Harold Washington back in 1983, 40 years ago, where we have the first time in 40 years a mayor who did not get elected sitting with the inauguration of the mayor that actually beat them, which at that time was Jane Byrne. He's the second African-American male to hold this office, the third African-American in general. This is the second time we'll have an all-minority executive with the city clerk, city treasurer, and the mayor all being of minority backgrounds.
Mayor Johnson is, in some regards, a surprise mayor. No one would have written this script a year ago. Mr. Johnson went to the runoff, won the runoff, but it was, really basically a 50-50 split. So nearly half of those who voted, nearly half, didn't vote for Mr. Johnson. What does he need to say today to kind of set up a tone to reach out to that group? Clearly, this city needs some bridge building.
Definitely. Before that, I say anything about that, I do want to make a comment towards Mayor Lightfoot and the way she's handled this transition. If you think about it, again, it's been 40 years since we've had to transition to a mayor from a different sort of elected persuasion from Lori Lightfoot, and she's handled this very graciously, and I think we'll continue to see this today. There are a few things, though, that I'm very curious to see about in what he has to say. One of the things I think he's got to come out strong with is public safety. And so I'll be curious to see how he handles his comments regarding public safety. And I'm also curious to hear about how much he talks about cooperation. Because obviously, as you mentioned, bridge building is such an important thing. How he's going to talk about that, what his plans are for education, and now that he's gone down to Springfield and met with the House and gone out to Washington and met with members of Congress, I'm curious to hear what he has to say about his financial plans for the city and if he walks back any sort of those progressive taxes. And then finally, I think we'll hear a lot about his faith. He's unreserved in talking about his faith background and so all those things I think will articulate a vision for Chicago that's uniquely Brandon Johnson.
In a city historically run by Goliaths, a machine city, what does it say about the city that we've really elected back-to-back complete underdogs? Lori Lightfoot to Brandon Johnson, two scripts that, from a previous script wouldn't have been written. What does it say about the city itself?
I think it shows a city in transition. Certainly Mayor Lightfoot has made no qualms about trying to clean up the city ethically, and I think she's made some strides to do that. I think with Brandon Johnson's election, I think we see more of that people don't want the old guard in the fifth floor office of City Hall. They want somebody that thinks uniquely, in this case, a very progressive mayor coming in. But again, he has to balance that because he's got some 48% of the electorate who did not elect him, went for somebody different. So he's got some major bridge building to make, but I think he's made some great strides during his mayor-elect tenure to bridge those gaps.
Dr. Nick Kachiroubas, some fascinating insight with us, insight we always appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on the stream this morning, and we will be sure to talk soon about this topic and many others in the body politic here in Chicago. Thank you, Doc.
Good to be with you as always.